Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I decided to make this video talking about my struggles when I was a broke, small YouTuber. When I first started YouTube originally in 2016, I didn't have the best equipment. In fact, I started with nothing. The stuff you see me unboxing and stuff you will see me unbox in the future, I didn't have the opportunity to get that. And I want to emphasize that when most people start YouTube, most if not all small YouTubers are gonna start with nothing. They're gonna start with a crappy laptop or a crappy tablet or a phone or something that their parents bought them for school when they were going to school, and then it still works after they finish, so they can start with that. First and foremost, I started with no knowledge about YouTube, how it worked, how to edit, how to do this, how to do that. I started with no knowledge of that. Now I'm gonna have to create a flow chart because I've started YouTube so many times. So I'm gonna do that so people can have a better understanding. My first channel was called Aaliyah Holt back in 2016. So trial one is 2016. So during that trial, I had terrible sound. I didn't have the money to buy a mic, and I had to use the mic from my sucky laptop, and I was getting a lot of comments about it that people couldn't hear me, and I kind of felt powerless because I didn't have the money to buy a mic. Now when I said I didn't have money, I think that I wasn't clear. When I said I didn't have money, they probably thought I was talking about that I didn't have money for, let's say, a Blue Yeti mic, which is like over $100. But maybe I'd have the money for a mic that's $30 or something. That maybe I'd have money for a $20 mic just until I build my money to get the Blue Snowball or the Blue Yeti or whatever. But I had no money at all. Zero, zilch, nada. And the struggle that I had was getting people to understand that I really want to better the quality of my videos. I just didn't have the money to do so. Now I know that I don't have to go and spend $300 on a camera. But I was so broke, I couldn't even buy a camera that was $80 just to start. Or I was so broke, I couldn't even buy a mic that was $40 just to get me started. And I tried doing gameplays, and that didn't work out because I didn't have a good mic, I didn't have a good laptop to be able to run the games efficiently. And while I was limited on the games that I can do, I decided to take up vlogging, since I could just use my phone and a simple editor to allow me to cut out boring stuff, add background music or side notes in the video. I didn't have a smartphone like a Samsung Galaxy. I had a suck-ass Nokia phone. It didn't have a front camera. Because personally, I like to use a front camera so I'll know I'm recording, because I can see the timer. And if I run out of space, then I'll see it stop. Because I don't want to do all this recording and then play it back, and I'll run out of space 3 minutes in. And I didn't have money for a selfie stick, so people talked about my footage being shaky like when I moved. And the audio was low on the phone. And I didn't have money for a mic. You know, like the lavalier mic that you can buy for your phone? Didn't have money for that. So it was really hard to put out the best quality for my YouTube channel with no funds. And I remember I posted this vlog and this guy said, consider upgrading your mic, it's hard to hear you. And I told him, I'm sorry, I just can't afford it. That phone was old. My grandma gave it to me when my Samsung Galaxy phone, the battery was weak. Because usually like the newer up-to-date phones will have a better mic. That phone was old. My grandma bought it in like 2012. So that was an old phone. And then a new viewer came along and I felt that he couldn't accept me for me. if you guys can put out what I'm saying. Meaning, I admit I don't have the best peppy, preppy, upbeat personality that he wanted, but I would rather be me and find people who like that than to be something I'm not for someone else. Because isn't that what YouTube is supposed to be about? And then he always pointed out my editing, but I was not in a position to try other editors because none of them would support my laptop, because my laptop was old and the processor was weak. A string of rice will be stronger than the processor of that computer. And I'll have playback lag, I will have crashing, renders will take forever. So I had to render in lower settings so it wouldn't take as long. In my opinion, the editor you use matters because the better the editor, the more features and functions it comes with. I've tried both Filmora and VSDC. Just like when I tried VSDC, it didn't have the features that I've seen other people use in their editors. I didn't see an option to have like a timeline for everything you're going to use. So all I gotta do is just drag it to the editing section. I was limited to even editors because none of the good ones like Shotcut, HitFilm would support my laptop because the processor was too weak. And the laptop matters because if the processor is too weak, then your renders will take forever and it will put more pressure on your CPU and you'll have playback lag. And the playback lag was horrendous. So that could have been why people kept pointing out my editing needed work, because the playback lag was so bad. I couldn't properly view the video to cut out boring stuff, to cut out unneeded scenes. So that was in 2017 when I started back to one channel. Every time someone pointed out something and told me I needed to upgrade it, I had to tell them that I couldn't afford it, that I didn't have the money, I wasn't in the position to. Then I found this site called Steemit.com where you can get money for your content. I was making scrap change on there, so it would have been impossible to save up for equipment on there. Like if I was getting $1 a post or $2 a post, it would have been a little bit easier. I would get like 4 cents a post, and it would take me till I'm 50 to save up for equipment that way. The way I saw it, the equipment did matter. Like you can purchase a $30 mic, learn to use Audacity, and make the quality sound like the mic cost $100. Now I was in this group for small YouTubers, and they had threads for feedback, and I had to use my webcam because no money to buy a camera, and my phone sucked. So I could only film in the daytime where I can sit by a window or go outside. And someone linked a camera that they found on Amazon, an affordable camera. And they say, here's this camera, don't make an excuse. And it kind of made me angry that they saw me being broke and not having the money to buy stuff as excuses. How is someone being broke, not having the money to better their channel, excuses? You can't buy something if you don't have money. I've tried telling them time and time that I just didn't have the money, I just couldn't afford it, but they wouldn't listen. Yeah, I was thinking about quitting YouTube then, because it was impossible to be able to put out good quality with no money. So I had to do all my filming with my sucky phone in the daytime or go outside. And on days it was overcast, that was hard because I didn't have as much light as when the sun is out. But I can say for a fact that my editing skills were weak simply because I was limited to the editors I can use due to my laptop being old and not being able to function properly. But now, when someone tells me I need to upgrade, my days of telling them that I can't afford it are over. I mean, it's not completely over, But I mean, I can tell them I can get it next month, I can get it in 2 weeks, I can get it next week. Because sometimes if I'm gonna go out to like Walmart, I might wait till then because I can buy it right then and there over ordering it on Amazon. Because one time I was at Walmart and I saw that they had Blue Yetis, that they were selling Blue Yetis in the electronics department. So it would make sense to go see what Walmart has before I ordered online. Because I could buy it, bam, I have it there. Versus ordering on Amazon and having to wait. Now that I got a better laptop, I can try out different editors. Even on the desktop that my mom bought when she wanted to go to school, it couldn't handle any of the good editors either. So that is the one thing, is that I didn't know I was going to get into YouTube. Therefore, my folks were buying computers that had weak processors. That was before I knew I wanted to get into YouTube. But now that I know that when in doubt, just get a good computer, because if I want to get into something, at least I'll somewhat have the ability to run said editor or said app. I couldn't even do my Blender renders anymore because the processor was too weak. I want you guys to take this to understand that a lot of small channels may not always have the luxury of parents that can help buy equipment for them. Might not have the luxury to be able to get a job, to save up for equipment, especially if they're 14 or 15 and aren't old enough. And that was my issue then. I tried looking for jobs and no result. So I was considering working and building YouTube to make it a job, but I couldn't do that if I didn't have the money to build my set, to build my gear. So I wouldn't judge someone too harshly. They're trying to make YouTube their job. I would consider maybe they've tried looking for jobs and had no result, or maybe they have transportation issues, or maybe they have health problems with affiliate marketing. I couldn't do that before, because I feel you would trust me better if you can actually see me unboxing the product, testing it, then you can actually see or hear the results for yourself before deciding if you want to buy it, versus just saying this mic is good, this camera is good, and I wouldn't have credibility because there's no evidence to back it up, like a video or screenshots. So please don't be too hard on some small YouTubers if their lighting is a bit bad or their editing is a bit off. But the one thing that I wish I would have done is, despite being the broke person that I was, what I should have done from the get-go was just, for sit-down vlogs, try to record in the daytime. And another thing is, I didn't have a tripod to set my phone high enough. What I could have done was, next time somebody bought a can of Pringles chips, tell them to give me a can, and I could have carved it into like a little tripod. So what I should have done was learning ways to get by despite not having the money. I feel I had done that sooner, then people wouldn't have been left the impression I just don't care, because I feel that's the impression that people got, when in reality I just didn't have the money to buy better stuff, to get a better editor, to better my editing. But now you guys are not going to hear those excuses anymore. Now you guys are going to see improvements, but it's just going to take some time because I film ahead of time. And I film ahead of time because it helps me out. And I wanted the guy to understand that I might not be the most bubbly vlogger in the universe, but I'm going to be me. And if some people don't like that, then there's nothing I can do, because I'd rather be me, and it takes a while to grow, but I know I'm doing it for the right reasons, than to be something I'm not because someone doesn't like it, and I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. Am I bubbly? No, not all the time, and that's okay. So I'll see you guys soon.